For all of us, certainly this pandemic has just upended our lives in many ways that we never expected. But as vaccines continue to be rolled out and we begin to see the proverbial light at the end of the tunnel, what will our new normal be like, and what kind of lessons will we take away from all of this? ABC's chief medical correspondent, Dr. Jen Ashton, the woman who knows all, tells all. She has authored a new book titled The New Normal, A Roadmap to Resilience in the Pandemic Era. She is kind enough to join us now. Thanks so much for coming on the show, Dr. Jen.
Lindsay, I miss you in person.
And same to you. Good, nice to lay eyes on you virtually, at least this way. So first off, congratulations on this new book that will surely help so many navigate what is to come. The foundation of your book is all about accepting this new normal for what it is as opposed to what we want it to be. So tell us a little more about that premise, and what are some of the ways that we should be prepared to adapt?
Well, first of all, Lindsay, as you know, because you and I have been living and breathing and eating and sleeping all things COVID now for over a year in terms of our coverage, you know, I really wrote the book because I was hearing from viewers and my patients alike that they wanted more than what we could really do a deep dive into in a television segment or a live stream segment, because they wanted to know how to process the medical headlines so that they don't get whiplash. Things are changing every day. We're learning more about this virus and this pandemic every day. So really the bottom line is that I realized it wasn't about explaining the fact du jour. It was about trying to explain to people and teach people how to think like a doctor, which you don't need to go through 4 years of medical school to learn. But in doing so, as I walk people through that thought process in the book, then it really gives people the tools to navigate these, you know, rapidly changing and ever-evolving circumstances that we're living in.
And you also talk about the importance of not only physical health, but mental and emotional health as well. And the fact that wellness is no longer a buzzword. What are some tips to try to keep this trinity as sharp as possible?
Well, I think first of all is acknowledging and recognizing that every single one of us has been under physical and mental strain over the course of the last year at some time or another. Communicating, talking about it, being open, really waiting to hear the answer when you ask someone, how are you? And really giving an honest answer yourself when you're asked about that. Then when it comes to our physical health, and I really don't believe in disconnecting, you know, the rest of the body from the head, it's really about doubling down on the foundations that we need to be healthy and well in the best of times, let alone in pandemic times. So that's our fitness regimen, believe it or not, that's our rest regimen, and that's our nutritional regimen.
Really waiting to hear an answer when someone says, how are you? That is such good advice, and hopefully people will live up to that. Of course, there has been so much loss this year in so many ways, whether you lost a loved one, a job, or even the simple ability to spend time with your friends. What's your advice to people who feel like they just don't have any more gas left in their tank to be resilient?
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, there are times that I feel like that myself, many times, in fact. And I think that what I've learned as a doctor in practice who still has real patients, in addition to what I do for ABC News, I think it's to recognize that we all are more resilient than we even realize, and that it's not about necessarily looking 1 week or 1 month or 1 year down the road. It's about just being present and controlling the things we can control right now. And that's how we help a patient recover in the hospital. And I've really looked at this country like it's one giant patient during this pandemic. And so I think just taking those baby steps is really important when we're feeling like we have nothing left, no more gas in the tank.
And lastly, what are some tips and insights for parents taking care of both their kids and even their elderly parents, and trying to find a way to balance it all without continuing to feel that burnout?
Well, you know this well, Linz, as a mom of younger kids, and my kids are older, but, you know, I think we're both sandwiched in between caring for our children and also keeping an eye on our parents. And I think that this pandemic has been uniquely difficult and painful for those extremes of ages, our kids and people who are older. And I think we need to recognize that and approach those age groups uniquely and individually and specifically, because what they're facing is very, very different than what we're facing. So I think acknowledging that and taking an individualized and really personalized approach with those age groups are really important.
My friend and colleague, Dr. Jen Ashton, thank you so much for your time and your insight as always.
Thanks, Lindsay.
And be sure to check out Dr. Jen's Prescription for Health, Your Heart and You, airing at 8 and 10:30 Eastern tonight, right here on ABC News Live.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.